Hello everyone, welcome back. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is a gift. Not a question, it's a statement, because I've heard it plenty of times. And I accept that the creators of the Uluru Statement from the Heart believe it to be a gift to Australians. But I want to explore where the idea comes from and whether it stands up to scrutiny. Before I do that, let me explain why I think this is important. What we know about the referendum is that the Prime Minister has committed to implementing the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full, and that means voice, treaty and truth-telling. That is a massive logistical procedural change, and yet we have scant detail on what these things might look like. Now, I am not a marketing person, but maybe because there isn't a lot of detail, the government and Yes supporters are appealing to Australians on an emotional level. You see, in 2017, the Uluru Statement from the Heart included this in the text. We seek constitutional reforms to empower our people to take a rightful place in our own country. When we have power over our destiny, our children will flourish, they will walk in two worlds, and their culture will be a gift to their country. Now, I feel compelled to take a tangent here for just a minute, so please indulge me. On my reading of this text, the creators of the Uluru Statement from the Heart are saying that they seek constitutional reform so that Indigenous children are able to flourish. Without it, they have no power over their destiny. I am very uncomfortable combining a self-imposed limitation and race in the one sentence. But let's keep going. If this cohort gets constitutional reform, their children will flourish, and then it will be the culture of the children that will be a gift to our country. I'm really struggling with this because Indigenous children can flourish even without constitutional reform. I mean, somehow the 11 Indigenous politicians in our federal parliament managed to flourish without constitutional reform. There's plenty of Indigenous Australians flourishing. Take a look at any AFL team, or indeed any of the major sporting codes, not to mention the many Indigenous doctors, lawyers, tradies, parents, neighbours, volunteers, all making all sorts of valuable contributions to our wonderful national community. So according to the actual text of the statement, the culture of flourishing Indigenous children will be a gift to Australia. But Uluru Statement co-creator Pat Anderson explains it differently, and the gift was made in 2017 by presenting the Uluru Statement from the Heart to all non-Indigenous Australians. That was the gift back then.
Accepting the gift that we gave to the Australian people in 2017.
And another Uluru Statement from the Heart co-creator, Professor Megan Davis.
The Uluru Statement from the Heart is an invitation. It is a gift to you, the Australian people.
Professor Davis has also explained it like this, and I quote, "What's on the table is this gift to the Australian people to walk with us, as the invitation says from the Uluru Statement from the Heart, to walk with us to a better future." After all this, I still don't have a good explanation as to what the gift actually is. And maybe if something is said often enough, it will be accepted as valid by many people who want to believe or they're open to persuasion. We are repeatedly told many things about the Uluru Statement from the Heart. It is a gift. It is an invitation. It is gracious. It is modest. That we are voting for an idea. Well, I think that's a stretch. The Prime Minister has made it clear time and again that we are voting to establish new political institutions that will, in effect, divide Australia by race. Now, If there is indeed any gift in this referendum, it will be the gift of additional procedural rights and privileges to 3% of the population. Now, under different circumstances, that might be absolutely necessary. But it seems to me most of the 3% can and ought to flourish even without constitutional reform. When the Prime Minister announced the date of the referendum, he urged all Australians to ask questions and to seek answers. Well, Prime Minister, the more I look into it, the more confused I get. I would much rather vote for details than an idea. Anyway, I want to know what your thoughts are. So get into some research, get talking so that when you vote, you know why you are voting one way or the other. That's all from me today. To never miss an upload, please subscribe, turn on post notifications, and feel free to share your own comments and thoughts down below. And check out our webpage for a bunch of different ways to learn and collaborate with us. See you soon. One last thing. Is it okay to eat the head first, or is that cruel? Or should I go for the feet? Authorised by Wesley from the Centre for Indigenous Training, Albert Street, Brisbane.